All right. I actually did pre-record this review like pretty much after Raw went off, and it was a complete rant about how the actual audience was literally treating the wrestlers. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was downright appalling. The point where yeah, we get the idea that CM Punk is gone. Not a lot of people are happy about the fact that CM Punk is gone and made the decision that on his own to walk out. And the fans are not so happy. So sure, they think somewhere in their minds it is somewhere like kayfabe, and how if they just chant his name, he'll come out like backstage and everything. And it's just something that kind of did set some of the actual WWE universe off, and it's something they wouldn't give up on all night. And in my opinion, it really was disrespectful on how they literally just didn't give the actual wrestlers any slack. And not only that, it just seemed like they didn't really respect what they were doing. They were trying to move on like they usually do. If somebody decides to leave, they move on and just go on and just roll with the punches. And they're trying to prep up and actually continue with the storyline leading on up to the Elimination Chamber. And let's just say that people are people, and we can be somewhat savage sometimes. But I'm not really going to speak on behalf of them for myself. Honestly, me being a WWE fan, I respect the wrestlers. I respect what they do. I respect the fact that they actually do put their bodies on the line to just provide entertainment to the masses. And I respect everything they do. I mean, I'm a child of the golden era. And I am well and I am, I really do respect everything that they do. But that's just me personally, but I'm going to be a complete fair reviewer, not completely make this a total rant. So this is going to pretty much be my second video, but honestly, I'm just going to go with what I know and not make it a complete rant and try to be as fair as I possibly can be. Now, honestly, guys, I don't necessarily understand why out of the blue they decided to give Daniel Bryan a shot. Since practically for months they've done nothing but like show him the face of adversity and did everything they could to prevent him from being the face of WWE. But now all of a sudden, just because Randy Orton fell flat, they decided to pick Daniel Bryan out of the blue. Don't get me wrong, Daniel Bryan was pretty much the best choice in my opinion. Sure, people like saying that he's not completely a draw. But the fact is, the WWE Universe requested him. They want him front and center. Shoot, the main disappointment for most of the WWE Universe was the fact that he wasn't even in the Rumble. So honestly, it would make sense to me, since people saying it's not best for business. What's best for business is what the people want, because they're the ones that's actually paying the company to see these people. So honestly, it really would be best for business to have Daniel Bryan out there. He has the best thing going at this point in time. So, but the whole thing with Randy Orton just didn't make any sense to me, and how they decided to wait this long to actually put him up in the forefront. But I digress. That's what their choice is. But Randy Orton, I am not a fan of the new Randy. I'm not a fan of the complaining Randy. I really do miss the old legend killer Randy, the guy that takes no prisoners, the guy that literally will prove how hardcore he is just by doing it and not whining about it. I've never really been a fan of that Randy. I'm still not, but but I really do feel that this is going to be somewhat foreshadowing for him to lose everything at WrestleMania and for him to actually go back from scratch. And I'm hoping that he comes back to be his sadistic self. And I know that's strange for me saying that, but I really hope he goes back to his old self when WrestleMania is over. But I actually did have fun with one match that I actually saw, and I have not seen this person in a while. I have not, and I'm absolutely surprised that he came out tonight. And I'm talking about Santino Morella. I have not seen Santino in so long. I actually thought Santino was gone. But seeing how he actually came back just to do a dance off was somewhat disheartening, because I really hope and pray for the day that this man gets taken seriously. He's a really great wrestler. And sure, he was a plant when they were in Milan, but either or, this guy has really shown me personally, in my eyes, throughout the years, that he can actually be a capable wrestler. Sure, he was the IC champion for the while, and he had that belt handed to him, but he worked hard to be the tag team champion, and it shows that the guy actually does have talent. I just wish there'd be a day that they actually take him seriously instead of making him comic relief. But it seems like, unfortunately, that's not going to really happen, so I guess I need to throw that pipe dream out the window. But anyway, it was nice to see Emma. I'm always excited to see Emma, especially when Emma starts dancing. And actually, Emma was out there versus Summer Rae and Fandango. And I really do feel that Summer Rae and Emma are going to probably start feuding. And since Emma keeps making her little scenes on Raw, there's a chance she might actually be on Raw soon. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm really hoping that there'll be a chance for her to go against Summer Rae and actually have a decent feud with Summer Rae. Because let's face it, we are losing our divas and superstars right and left. They need to come up with some better ideas, something huge. Because let's face it, CM Punk gone and Caitlyn gone. We're losing people right and left. There are people going to retire. They need to start beefing it up soon. And the Divas division really does need it the most. AJ Lee is starting to lose her flair, seeing how even though she skips around, nobody cared. She's been a Divas championship. She's been a Divas champion for a long time. She beat not only Maurice's actual record, she beat Jacqueline's as well. But nobody cares, which shows that she needs to lose that belt. I'm hoping it's not against Brie Bella because I love Brie. I'm starting to become a little bit of a fan of Brie, but on the real, Brie really hasn't done much of anything since Total Divas kind of went off the air for a while. I mean, it's on the season finale, but it's going to come back in March. But still, it makes more sense for Naomi to actually be the one to take the belt. And then somehow Brie comes back and takes the belt from her to make her a fortified heel. Because so far, she's kind of been an in-betweener because of the whole the Total Divas thing. But I really do feel that Brie needs to be a Divas Championship later and have Naomi go to the Divas Championship because she's actually the only chick that can go against her. Because even though Brie is as tough as nails, Brie cannot break that Black Widow. I think that, in my opinion, I really feel that Naomi is strong enough to break the Black Widow. And anyone that can break it can beat her. So I'm hoping that it will be Naomi and then moving on to Brie. But they're trying to do a lot of things to beef up the Elimination Chamber. But the one thing that really puzzled me is why did they bring out the poor man's Goldberg and the forgettable one? And what I mean by that is Ryback and Curtis Axel. No one really cares about them. They don't. I don't. Their character, that is. Curtis Axel is she's seriously the forgettable one. Just because he is the son of Mr. Perfect does not mean that he's Mr. Perfect. He's still the forgettable one. His character is forgettable. His lines are forgettable. His promos are forgettable. He is Mr. Forgettable. He can be as many matches as he possibly can, and he will never have that moment because his character is bland and stale and needs work. He needs to take away the whole Mr. Perfect persona. He doesn't need to use his dad's name or his dad's legacy. He needs to start from scratch. And in my opinion, he was great as Michael McGillicuddy, and he should have stuck with Michael McGillicuddy or someone else's name besides using his dad's. It's not going to work. It will never work. And Ryback, he fell short a long time ago. I don't know what they're going to do with him. It seems like to me that his contract, I wouldn't be surprised if his contract is on its way up and out because they really don't have anything else to do with him. Sure, he was in the Rumble, but he's running out of storylines and time, that is. I really don't know what's going to happen to him, but I really do see him the next guy to be cut after WrestleMania if he's not cut sooner. But moving on from there, my favorite match of the night was the steel cage match between the New Age Outlaws and the Rhodes Brothers. Seriously, that was one of the best matches I've seen on Raw in a while. And yeah, Cody Rhodes had his unforgettable moment when he leaped off the top of the cage as completely off. He wasn't even on point. He was literally like the King said, he wasn't flush. Yeah, he wasn't flush at all. Like seriously, he wasn't even. He literally missed the guy and just hit the square on the ground. And I wouldn't be surprised if their moment was supposed to be tonight for them to actually win the belts back. But after that mistake, nah. More than likely, I think they're done for a while. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos are going to be the next ones to be the champions. And I'm hoping that that's going to happen. But I'm actually surprised. Well, actually, I'm not really surprised to see Titus O'Neil, a.k.a. the Chocolate Milk Dud, out there fighting against Zack Ryder. I thought Zack Ryder was canned. Seeing how I actually saw like little snippets of his Long Island IZ True Hollywood Story or whatever. I don't think they make those anymore. But it seems to me that he just got fed up of not being put over. And I thought he was gone. But he's still there. And let's just face it, him and Dolph are going to be next. And I know a lot of people are saying that Dolph Ziggler has no reason, no rhyme, whatever, to be in the main event because he can talk good. The guy is a good talent. I'm not going to lie. He shouldn't be able to be moving so fast, but he can be put in a great storyline without a chick being involved. I honestly think that he can actually put a good show on WrestleMania, but not really be the main event, but have actually a great match with someone at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, his pushes have been really short, or he's actually had to be pushed when there was a chick involved, which I think is kind of crap. It's a load of crap. And even if he does say things behind the scenes, it shouldn't affect his job. As long as he's able to actually do the work and perform well and look good in the crowd, it doesn't matter what he says behind the scenes. Look at Randy Orton. He's a complete jerk behind the scenes. Look at that guy. He's been pushed I don't know how many times. Not only that, he's had so many strikes against him, I'm surprised he's still working there. So I really don't consider that to be an excuse at all. But honestly, I really hope for the day that he's going to somehow get a push and at least be able to be put in a decent match at WrestleMania and have a WrestleMania moment. And I feel like every wrestler that's there should have their own WrestleMania moment. But there are some people that won't get that. So let's just be real here. But honestly, guys, I somewhat like the opener. Somewhat. And the reason why I say somewhat is because it's something I've seen about a million times before. And it seems to me that Stephanie's more of the mouthpiece than Triple H. And I'm like, dude, you're the cerebral assassin. You're the COO. Sure, she's the owner. But for crying out loud, it should be kind of an equal thing. I have her talk more than you. Kind of be like somewhat equal. But it shows how, I guess, being married that long, somehow the guys get tamed. I don't know, and I won't go there because I'm not married. But regardless of that, my overall thoughts of the show is this. Besides the crowd being complete jerks and literally undermining everyone that's in the ring and kind of 86 everything that was going on because of the fact that CM Punk disappeared like a bunch of babies, I will say that, okay, the show was alright. It wasn't like, yay, Miss Spectacular. I had some fun moments. I love seeing Emma out there. I love seeing Santino Morella. I had fun watching that. It was hilarious. But I never could understand what the King meant about how that Wade Barrett to be gone next week or something like that. Maybe they're going to have another stupid fight with him. I don't know. But I enjoy seeing Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett gets a lot of good heel heat. I enjoy it a lot. Batista's moment, his promo was dumb because nobody cares about Alberto Del Rio. No one. And the fact is, I really do respect Batista because you could tell that he was getting pissed off by the moment when honestly the crowd kept heckling him, or pretty much kept heckling everybody about CM Punk's not being there. And I know you can actually tell about how angry he was starting to get. So I really do applaud him for keeping his temper and not kicking down the fourth wall. But like I said, my overall thoughts is this. It was a mediocre show building up to a pay-per-view that's going to be subpar pretty much next to WrestleMania. It is Elimination Chamber. It is the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. But in my opinion, it's not really a decent enough build going up to Elimination Chamber. You really do want to kind of go out somehow with a bang. But I will say this. The Elimination Chamber is the equivalent of WrestleMania 27. It's supposed to be... It's not going to be as epic as WrestleMania. It's going to be a subpar pay-per-view because WrestleMania is right after it. And I understand that. But I feel that all the pay-per-views should have decent quality. Especially the fact that they're going to kick off WWE Network soon. But honestly, there's really no build to the pay-per-view at all. It was somewhat subpar and mediocre. It could have been better. I had some fun moments. But it just, and the crowd kind of diminished a little bit of the whole experience for me. And not only that, they made such a big deal about unifying the belts, but for some strange reason, Randy Orton still has those two belts tossed over his shoulder. I don't understand that, and it's stupid. Can we please unify the belts, please? But regardless of that, guys, what are your thoughts overall about this show? Leave a comment in the comment section below or send me a video response on how you feel about Raw, how you feel about Elimination Chamber. Are you going to get WWE Network? Let's just get a whole conversation going here. And I got tons of videos on our WWE Network. Just got one. But either or, guys, I want to hear your thoughts about Raw. Nature Girl 30 signing off. I'm going to bed. Peace out.